Hola! Welcome, beautiful, gorgeous, divine, miraculous being, to our final journey of 2021. Welcome to Get Justice in Your World in 11 days. My husband said to me last night, Tiffany, I don't understand why you always, like, your stuff is good, but I don't understand why you do this in 11 days thing. How can you promise that somebody is going to get justice in their world in 11 days? And what I said to him was that if if you follow the course, if you stay the course for 11 days, you will have some type of internal shift. I can't promise you what that is, but you will have some type of internal shift. And that is actually true justice. It's not something that comes from outside of you, it's something that is about being in alignment with you. And he said to me, Tiffany, you should be a lawyer. He's so funny. He was like, you'd be able to say to your clients, it's not about getting justice in your world. You're going to go down, mate, and you're going to have plenty of time for self-reflection. God, I love a Gemini, just like Russell Brand. As some of you know, I had a chat with him this week. Have you seen it? Let me know. Okay. Also, let me know if you're here live or here on the replay. Just if you're on the replay, put a hashtag replay. If you're on the live, just say hi. Also, let me know. I want to know what your intention is for these next 11 days. So put that in your chat box, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay. I want to know what your intention is. Hey, Julia, wonderful to see you here. And you had a fantastic, um, you hit the nail on the head. That's all I'm going to say about when it comes to justice, because justice is about being truthful. And in this live, I'm going to share with you some very deep truths, as well as why we're doing this journey now and what this journey looks like. Okay. We'll start with why you hit the nail on the head. So, Julia's intention was truth, and justice, out of any other card in the tarot, is about truth, which is interesting because Libra is the sign but has the hardest time with truth. And Judy is a Libra, so it's interesting that, of course, you've chosen that word, Julia. And truth, some of you may know, is one of my top values. It's why I can be a bit direct at times. Um, it's like, just tell me the truth. I want to know the truth. Just be truthful with me. And those of you that maybe aren't so great with confrontation might be a bit like, ah, um, yeah. But it's one of my values. It's something I hold. I really respect people that can be truthful with me if they're able to do it in the place of agreement number one. Okay, so let's go back through the agreements, a little refresher. Remember, when you're doing these journeys, it's time to really up that practice in the group and outside of the group. So, A1, speaking truth and love, because to be honest, truth without love is just brutality. And I know that I need to work on the love piece. A lot of intuitives need to work on the truth piece a bit more to get this balance of justice right. Okay, so we really are working with agreement number one here today in justice, and the 11 days. As you can see, this is number 11, and we've got 11 days left of the journey as well. I'll explain more in a bit. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about truth, wasn't I? And yeah, so anyway, you're gonna have to remind me in the chat box. I'm really sorry. Let me know what I was on about. I don't know about you, but I've not been sleeping that well. And I know that I'm not the only one that hasn't been sleeping that well. And so I may go more on a tangent than I normally do. Okay. And I may go more around the houses than I normally do. I'm very aware that when I talk, I'm actually channeling. So it's like whenever the logic comes back in and I try to think, where am I and where am I going? It's gone. And that's part of getting really truthful about who I am. Now I'm back on track. Okay. So although truth is a massive value of mine, I'm still on a journey like all of us are, right? About getting really truthful with ourselves. It is about, oh, seeing that as a lifelong journey. You must know the times. Let me know in the chat box. Has there been times where you thought you were being truthful with yourself when actually a few months or a few years later you realized you weren't? Especially as an intuitive, we can get so into people pleasing, we can get so conditioned, we can take on other people's values, we take on other people's stuff, and we think that we have to be that way. Is this resonating with any of you? Let me know in the chat box. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about one of these truthful journeys that I've just had. So you may realize that I haven't done my hair today. You may realize that I haven't done my makeup today. So many times says someone, I can't see who you are, darling. Please let me know. It would be great to know. So, yeah, totally resonating, says Julia. Absolutely, because we're all human, right? And we're all on this trajectory of getting to know ourselves, which is an ongoing thing, and also who we're becoming. Because if we're too entrenched in who we are, then we don't really grow. But then if we come out of ourselves too much, we grow, but we don't grow in the right way. It's we grow through a much more painful way and go round in circles rather than in a straight line. Gosh, I don't know about you, but maybe it's a hot flush. I'm being really, really for the next couple of years. Ah, you've lost it. Lost it, lost it. Oh my God. Am I back yet? Am I back yet? If I'm back, just say what you last heard because I was saying something really powerful. Blooming Mike. You still can't hear me. Okay. Oh, I'm back now. Okay, thank you, Katie. What was the last thing you heard? Because I was saying something really really powerful. And this mic is awful for coming in and out, but it's the best mic I've ever found so far. It's another journey. It cut off when I took my jumper off. Thank you. Yeah, that's what happened on yesterday's Astro Tarot dance too. Okay. I was saying something really important at that point too. So I'm just going to go back to it. I'm going to take myself back and I'm going to like take my jumper off. I was like saying, I am so sick as I'm peeling off this layer. I am so sick of any type of conditioning. And the really important thing that I was sharing with you, as I said, you're going to see more truthfulness in me today than ever because of this. Yeah, it's like when you start a course, those of you that maybe will do that in the future, will probably need to really hear this, or maybe you already do it and you know what I'm talking about. But when you are the person that is leading a course, you go through that experience first. And yeah, okay, you could say that comes from your life experience, but it's like when you're revving up to actually deliver the course, it's like it comes through you first. And I am now in a place where I realize this is the truth that I've got to now. I'm going to tell you in a minute. But in order for it to make sense, I need to take you to my tagline. Do you remember my tagline? My tagline is that I help intuitives that have lost themselves in others, situations, or a tarot deck come back to themselves. And you know what I realized? I realized, I think probably only the last couple of months, but I had this truthful realization that there was a block in my business because something was out of alignment. There was a block in me. We don't have business blocks, we have personal blocks. And that block was that I'd only done 2/3 of that journey. Wow, big realization. The 2/3 I've done, the first recovery was recovering myself from being lost in a tarot deck. I managed to do that when I was in my early 20s, so about 20 years ago. Um, my second recovery happened in my mid 30s to when I turned 40. Yeah. And that was recovering myself from losing myself in another person. But this losing myself in a situation, that's only just healing now. I've done that same outuitive. Do you remember the term outuitive? When you're an intuitive and you're tuning out of yourself and losing yourself in a person, a tarot deck, or a situation. I've done that same thing. You know, it's like when we have an addiction and we maybe replace smoking for drinking or something like that. So I cleared the tarot deck, and to be honest, it's not a replacement. Like all three of those were an issue all the time. So I'd actually managed to slay one of them, but there was still the other two. Yeah, and now I feel like I'm slaying the third. I'm showing up to you here with my hair not done. I'm showing up to you here with my tooth that's gone. I'm showing up to you here with no makeup on. I'm showing up to you here totally and utterly vulnerably to say that I am done. with certain models. So that's been my journey since 2013 to 2014 when we had the Taurus Scorpio eclipse. Okay, I want you to think back now. Where was your life in 2013 to 2014? Because where we're entering now with these eclipses now, we're going back to the Taurus Scorpio axis, which means what was going on in 2013 to 2014 has some bearing on where you are now. So I will share with you mine as an example. 2013 to 14 was the beginning of me healing being lost in another situation. It was when it was culminating in a big lesson around losing myself and another person. And the journey around losing myself in a situation was beginning. And now I'm at that place of that ending. And what was that situation? That situation was my business. That situation was doing business course after business course after business course to try and make my business, which is more than a business and different to a business, work. And the last couple of months have been a massive undoing, particularly stepped up a year ago. But the last couple of months, as this eclipse has come in, has been a massive truthful revelation that actually I don't want to do business that way. I don't want to be launching. You may see that nobody has joined us for this journey, yes, for the first time. One, because I'm really busy and things are changing, and I'm realizing that I need to realign things. So I've been really taken up by that. I've got myself a job being an advocate for people with autism and interviewing them and writing up their stories. I'm realigning. And I want this place to be community led, community driven. So it's going to be my side hustle, but I don't even like the word side hustle because I'm dedicated to you. I'm dedicated to this passion. The only thing that's going to change maybe is the times slightly whilst I'm going through these times, but I will deliver. I will deliver because that's who I am. Yes. So the only thing maybe that the times of things might be shifting a little bit until my life gets into some kind of this is the new life. It also means that I've been lucky enough, really when I look at it, yeah, marketing's worked a little bit for sure. But actually, what's been the best thing is when people have come through word of mouth, and that has been the majority of you. And I really appreciate that. And that's what this community needs in order to grow, in order to flourish, is word of mouth. And I am totally 110% happy to give you a link that means that you will earn from um, coming from that place. And that's the vision that I want from this. And that's my truth and that's my journey from 2013 to 2014. So I feel that I am finally in that place or getting to that place of truth in myself of like, oh, heck, I hadn't done the recovery on losing myself in a situation, i.e., doing business course after business course, saying that my business needs to be like that out there in the world. So, what about you? What is your journey, do you think? If you think back to 2013 to 2014, what was going on in your life then? What was the ending, opening chapter that maybe you think this journey here going on in this next 11 days is helping you to come into a realization about? Because that is the process of truth. It's a dawning thing. Let's have a look and see. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look. Katie says, my universe shifted in 2013 and 14. I'm sure, yes, it did. I couldn't hack all my roles and duties in life anymore. I have been breaking down and rebuilding ever since. So there may well be an ending around that now and a beginning of a new level, because that's the nature of truth. It is something that is ever peeling. Yeah, there's always another layer, there's always another layer, and that's what we're going to be doing. And we're doing this now because we've just had the eclipse yesterday, so it's the final eclipse of the beginning of this new axis. So, how things have been for the last 18 months aren't how they're going to be for the next 2 years. It's another trajectory. Eclipses come in pairs, and so they're fortnightly apart, and then they're 6 months apart. So, when I say we just had the final eclipse yesterday, I mean that fortnightly one, we're done with those 2 weeks, and there's none now until April. So, that's one reason that we're doing it. The other reason is 2021 has been, uh, it's like we've been backed up all year. Just like lockdown, are we locked? You know, we probably thought that when lockdown was going to finish, we'd all be out there partying. And has it happened? No, because it's just like this, uh, it's like this mush. It's like we oh, oh, are we going forward? Are we? Oh my God, I don't know what the heck is going on. But even though they're talking about more lockdown issues, and yes, that definitely was a hot flush because now I'm freezing, but hopefully I am going to be very careful with my mic this time and you can still hear me. We're going forward. The planets are going forward, and the astrologers have been talking about 2021 all year and how it was taking to the last quarter for us to actually go forward, and particularly this month of December, it's all systems go. So it's quite exciting, it's quite exhilarating, it's quite destabilizing, but it's that time of really shifting. It's that time of really between now and the solstice, really everything that maybe you've wanted to manifest. Now, I'm not saying that that is going to manifest, but there's shifting around it where it might have felt stuck beforehand. Okay, so there's a real, like, you might have felt like, oh, I haven't achieved anything this year, and like everything starts happening this month. Could be, possibly, quite possible. And obviously, the more that we are in alignment with ourselves, the more that can come through, right? So that's what getting justice in your world in 11 days is all about. I'm going to tell you about this journey in a minute. Julia is saying, I will have to check back, but I was traveling the world with my ex every week and life was exciting. And these are just questions as well to ponder on, because as you journey, it'll become more and more clear. It's a like, okay, that's clocking where I was. Okay, I'm hearing what Tiffany is saying, and okay, that seed has been planted, and let's see where I'm at the end of these 11 days. So those of you that were in the membership in July, so just after the summer solstice, we went from the Fool to the Wheel, which is the first part of the Fool's journey. And now we're doing the second part, which is Justice to the World. So we're finishing off that journey. It does not matter if you didn't do the world to the the Fool to the world, that no sorry the Fool to the Wheel. It does not matter, okay, because it is like a wheel. See, it's a merry-go-round. You can just jump on it and jump off it wherever you like. It's all in divine timing. Those of us in the mastermind have just done the Fool to the Wheel, so in a way we've done the Fool to the Wheel twice without finishing the journey. See what I mean? It's like it doesn't matter. You're on a merry-go-round, and it was really divinely timed. It was actually a couple of people in the mastermind that were like, I want to do the Fool's Journey again. And then I looked at it and it was like, crumbs, if we started it now, then we'd get to justice at the day that, this place starts here in the membership. So that's what we've done. We've been journeying, and it's been pretty powerful. Katie, I know you're here. So is there anything you want to share about what's been powerful for you around this journey so far? It's been incredible in terms of the divine manifestations have almost been on a daily for me. So I will just run through it quickly. So on the full, which is the birth of the soul, it was my daughter Lauren's birthday. And as you know, this was not planned, as I just said. It just so happened that somebody said it in the mastermind, and we were like, okay, let's start tomorrow. And on the magician, my step adult, I can't say now because they've had to sign a non-disclosure thing, but it was something, let's just say, really big. Um, Obviously NDNA and NDA, but it was really big and really magical. Their achievement of what is happening that was very magician-like. The High Priestess, I can't really remember, which is very typical High Priestess. The Empress, I completely overindulged. Got a gift of a self-healing sound bath, and then was taken out and had plied with food and drink, which kind of undid it. Really overindulged. The Emperor, I had a really bad day on the Emperor. And normally I'm always like, people hate the Emperor and then they journey with him and they love him. But me and my Emperor totally clashed. And that was last Sunday. My Emperor being my husband. And then the High Priest came in the next day and put that back in order. The Lovers was the day I ended up speaking to Russell Brand. We'd had a cancelled call before because I wasn't on the Lovers, of course, because he's Gemini, you see, and the Lovers is Gemini. The Chariot, I just had a really funny guy doing my nails. He was so quirky, and I thought, yeah, you're a young Chariot guy. You're a young Apollo up there in the sky. It was kind of really cool moment. And then on strength, I had my tooth out. I'm always at the dentist on strength, being Leo. It's just like the lion with the dentist. It's crazy. It always happens. So you know what? You can start to kind of not predict, but it's like, oh, of course. That's going to happen on that day. It's like an honoring of that timing or that process. On Hermit Day, I was reviewing a lot of stuff, getting it ready, and there's a time for everything, and that's what these journeys do. They help you honor the time for everything. Okay. Yeah, Julia feels like she's been living in limbo since the virus. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. Katie says the synchronicities have been literally pouring in on this journey. The journey, eclipses, etc., have been opening me up. Yesterday's wheel saw lots of karmic messages. My past dog made herself known from the other side. So it's a really powerful time. Thank you so much for sharing that, Katie. To be doing this journey, it's the time. So let's have a look at what I mean by doing this journey. Okay. Right, so you can see that we're on justice today, and you'll know what you need to do. You need to choose the card that resonates with you, that calls you for the day, and put that on your screensaver, just as a visual reminder to have your tarot glasses on and be like, "Ooh, where do I see justice today? Who's showing up in my life today that reminds me of justice? What's happening in my life today that reminds me of justice? And how am I being like justice? So those are your main ones. Also Libra. So look out for your connections with Libra and the number 11. Okay. But let me tell you a little bit about the energy of justice. You'll know that I don't like to go into meanings. You'll know that I don't like to tell you much about the card because it's those questions. It's your own observations. It's about what the card says to you. That means you'll be getting right in alignment. Whereas if you take too much of what I say, what somebody else says, if you get too lost in what I say, it's a block. It's an intuitive block, right? So, but what I will tell you about justice is that she is the sister of the High Priestess. Okay, so the High Priestess is number 2, and they're both all seeing. But I'm going to show you in the Osho Zen how they differ, because I think the Osho Zen Tarot pictures it really well. So here we have the High Priestess in the Osho Zen, which is the inner voice. And here we have the Justice card in the Osho Zen. Uh-huh. There's nothing soft and fluffy about Libra or Justice. Boom. Okay, breakthrough, that says, in case you weren't aware, it says a breakthrough. So let's have a look at this breakthrough journey that we're going to do. I'm going to take you through the cards and show you what we're going to be doing. Okay, so obviously Justice today. Choose the card. Remember to do the little meditation as well. Yeah, we'll do that from tomorrow, but today's a longer live because I'm always going through how to do things. Yes. And I'm aware that I didn't go through all of the agreements, so let me see if I can fit them with this journey as we go. So we said agreement number 1, speak with truth and love. Get that balance right, Justice. Okay, choose the card that's right for you, that makes you go, oh yeah, that's what I want to manifest. But check in with the meditation, really step in there and ask, is it giving, hello, are you giving me what I need? If not, what do I need? And then go and look for that in a card and step into that card in meditation just for a few seconds, just till you get a feel. It's more important to feel it and choose it from here rather than from here. Okay, so when you've done that, put it up on your phone and off you go. Right. Agreement number 2, is it going to fit with card number 12? Let's see. Not to take things personally. I think it does. I think that fits really well with the Hanged Man. It's all about the change of perspective. In the Fool or the Hero's Journey, both Justice and the Hanged Man and Death actually are the stage of revelation. So that's our first 3 days, is getting to that stage of revelation. That's pretty cool, isn't it? When we think that truth is subjective and something that is always unfolding, to get like some level of revelation in 3 days is pretty awesome. And that's why these journeys rock. So let's say not taking things personally fits with these two. Yeah. Okay. So that's where we're journeying, and I know like it can look really gruesome. I know it can be like, oh, holy moly, we are traveling through the Hangman and Death, and I'm saying it like it's nothing because I've done the journeys before, because I've lived through death, God knows how many times, right? But in case you just need a little bit of reassurance, and I think you're all right, remember that this is actually metaphysical. So the journey is split into two, and the first half, the fall to the wheel, is about self development, really. And then when we go from justice onwards, it's about spiritual development, it's about karma. The last thing we did, it's no accident, the last thing we did here at Samhain, wherever you're at with it, whether you finished it or not, is Astro Tarot regression. It was the deep karmic plunge. Just trust wherever you're at with it is where you're meant to be for this level of you getting to clear out your karma or know your truth. Yeah? Okay, so that's not taking things personally. So finding the courage to ask for the questions is agreement number 3, and actually that fits with justice again, doesn't it, more than anything? But let's see if it fits with the next stage that we have after death, which is temperance. She is the fairy woman or man or whatever you want to call her. I think she's androgynous, really, non-binary. You can really see that here, can't you? Non-binary. Transgender, non-binary is very much, the new world that we're heading into in these times. We had the kind of, feminism drive, and then we had, which I think was the generation above mine, and then in my generation, and we had things like pride, and now we're getting into the transgender kind of flow of things, and that's what temperance is, transgender really. But she's also the goddess Isis, no, Iris, not Isis. This is Isis, high priestess, who is the sister of justice. I could bang on about this all day and it'll get very, very, very confusing. But if we just look at the Egyptian for a second, do follow me if you can. I'll flip back in a minute. This is the Egyptian goddess Mat, who weighed the hearts of man against a feather to see if he could enter the kingdom of God, if his heart was light enough. And she was the sister of Isis. In Greek mythology, it's Persephone and Athena, the warrior goddess. Okay, and it's about, it's about bringing these two pieces of ourselves together, because quite often they're in conflict. Like the warrior goddess sees the psychic as kind of codependent. Yeah, and yeah, there's a journey about that, but it's like the warrior goddess also needs to allow herself to go into that to really find the true strength it is in vulnerability. So it's a balancing out between them. And that's exactly what I do with people. It's this journey. Anyway, let's go back to temperance here. Okay, so after death, yeah, which is the last card in Revelation, we get to finally changes, which is temperance. And we see that with recovery and addiction and everything like that, everything in moderation. Yeah. And then we go into atonement in the journey. Now, these stages, they're also in your missive. I wrote them out for you in your missive. So if you need to see them, check out the missive. It landed in your inbox this morning. Okay, just before the live. Now we get into atonement, which is the devil and the tower, which means to make good. Okay. And you might be thinking, holy moly, again, I've got to travel through the hanged man, death, the devil, and the tower. Jeez Louise. But you know what? Death can feel really freeing. Death can feel incredibly liberating. The devil can feel totally grounding. And the tower, well, if you didn't think you had a breakthrough with justice, wait until you get to the tower. But as always, we need to let go of judgment and embrace curiosity. On the chariot day, one of the lovely goddesses in the mastermind shared about how they didn't want to have a chariot day. They wanted to just go back to bed and have a slow day. But actually, what they had was a beautiful day of things happening quickly, things that were stuck, things that were behind were just easily flowing, sorting themselves out. And that's it. The tarot will always give you what you least expect. And so if you can't help but judge it, just remember that the tarot will give you what you least expect. But the best way to do it, if we can, is to go, oh, I'm judging, because you will, because you're human. But it's about being that fostering awareness that you're judging someone, something, or a tarot card. Yes, that's another part of your practice on the journeys to get to that place of enlightenment. And, oh, I'm judging, dropping that, embracing the curiosity. I can't possibly know. I need to practice agreement number 3 a little bit more and embrace that curiosity. Okay, and then, and this is why the tower rocks, by the way, and it's not just because it's my birth card, but it liberates you from this place, which is probably why I scare a lot of you, but actually, the transformation, my God, it works. Yes, and so it liberates you from hell. And at that time, it's like everything's breaking down. Pff, oh God, there's no security, there's no control. But when you get to that place of being able to release it, that's when you become naked. That's when you show up on a live without your hair done, without your makeup on, without your teeth in, saying that you've had enough of trying to make your business fit in some particular way. It's your enlightenment moment. It's when Jim Carrey, who's the devil in my tarot card deck, um, did his man on the moon thing and totally had this I'm no longer Jim Carrey moment. I was speaking to Russell, a couple of days ago, and if you've seen the little video clip, you'll see that in there he talks about, like, I said to him about the fool. I've made him the fool in the tarot deck, and was that okay? And he wanted to know a bit more about the fool, and he was like, "Oh my God, yeah, totally. That's me. Like, I have this really strong identity that I'm Russell Brand, and I'm very aware of my sexuality and my identity and all of, who Russell Brand is, and he has these needs and these wants." He says, and then there's these times where something bigger, just I'm aware of it, and it's like Russell's dead. It's like he's no longer there. And this is the process of kind of being annihilated by your ego and it being blown apart. And I feel like that's just what I've just gone through really massively, except I'm not an A-list celebrity. But I've gone through it in my own way. Yeah. And boom, then you're in the star. And when you're in the star, wow, that is when it's like you've got no attachment to anything. So absolutely everything can come through. And it can feel a little overwhelming, it can feel a little bit ungrounding, and it can, go through this time of transition. So that's atonement, okay? And the star is gets gift. But it's like when you get the gift, it can just feel like, wow, it's really exciting, but it's really really overwhelming, like it's new and you've got to learn how to work with it. You've got to get to know it. And so things get really changeable, and that's when you go in the moon, and that's when it's really vulnerable, okay? So without judging the tarot or the cards, I will say all of this is nothing compared to the moon. The moon is that real heart of deconditioning, and it's where everything is changeable. Like I said to you, times of things are probably going to be changing for the next month or so. It might be a bit like, whoa, everything is changing just like the moon every day. It's changing sign. Tiffany's changing every day. And that is because of the process that I am in. But it will settle. Yes. It just give me a month. Give me a month. Okay? And it will all settle down, I promise. Okay. So then we return changed, which is actually the moon. It starts at return changed, even though it feels like, oh my God, I'm so lost. Have you ever had that where you feel like you're really lost and then you turn a corner and you're like, oh shit, I was fine all the time. I had that at the Alhambra in Spain in the midnight walk. But yeah, that's a bit like the process of the moon to the sun. And the sun is where you totally and utterly find yourself. Now, obviously, these are journeys, okay? So when I say totally and utterly find yourself, I mean totally and utterly find as much of yourself as you're meant to find on this journey, okay? And ta-da! That is when you come into alignment for getting justice. And so your world opens up, okay? And you return changed. So that's what we're doing on our way to the solstice from the eclipse axis. You can probably see from the pictures, they speak a million words, don't they? Of why we're doing it now. Any questions? Anything you want to share? Remember, the fourth agreement is to do your gentle best. Yes? So please don't judge yourself on this journey. This is becoming more and more apparent. The importance of journeying gently. Yes? So, yes, choose your card. Yes, step into the meditation. Yes, just look out for those revelations. Yes, write it out at the end of the day. Well, write your day out at the end of the day and then apply the questions. Yes, post it in the group, but do it gently. Try less, yes, and enjoy the journey. So agreement number 4 is normally do your best, but I have noticed that intuitives tend to try too hard. So I did add, I did edit Don Miguel Ruiz just this once, just this one agreement, and add the word gentle in there. It's really important to do this journey and journaling gently. Nurture you. So do your gentle best. Just like speaking with truth and love, it's both. Do your gentle best. It's both. Yeah? Okay, fantastic, Julia. I'm so pleased that you're feeling ready for the change. And agreement number 5 is also part of the process, which is to not believe anything. Yeah, not. It's like it's important to step back and be observational. Like if you saw again my video with Russell Brand, you'll see that on the Fool card that I show you of him, he's there, but he's also back looking at himself, which was very much like he said that, he sees Russell, but Russell is someone different to him. There's something bigger. And I don't think I've ever summed it up quite so neatly before in a journey. So I'm summing that up for you now. When I say step back and observe, I have said that you are an actor in a movie. Yeah. But I've never said it in a way of like, that may be you, but it's you that is maybe attached to this world, is maybe attached to the material needs and wants, right? There's another you that is bigger than that, that comes from before that and will continue after that. And this is where the real power of this journey is. I can feel that now because I'm aware now. I'm just getting this realization that's why I've had that message from Russell a few days beforehand, and it's important to bring it through to you. This is our practice of agreement number 5 for this journey, is to watch it all play out, observe it all with the knowing that that is just one little small part of you, and you are, it's a moment in time, and time is an illusion anyway. You are of the essence, which is bigger than that. Kind of ties in with the tarot feeling I got last night, which was not to make myself small, which was very interesting because I've also got another job at the moment for the botanist in Bath, and they sent me down to Beneath last night where all the chemical things are and everything, and there was all these globes and justice scales. So it's like I'm on the wheel and I'm moving into the justice. But I pulled the Light Seer's Queen of Pentacles, where she sat very gracefully, and that was me. I was just sat there all night waiting for people to come down to greet them as the hostess with the mostess, but I wasn't Queen of Wands at all. It was really Queen of Pentacles. I had to laugh because I was just sat like the card. And that's the power of the journeys. They will manifest through the card that you get. So choose that card wisely now. Find the one that you want to resonate with and stick it on your phone. Stick your tarot glasses on. Remember to ask yourself, oh, where is justice showing up? And that's why you're sticking it on your phone, or have it somewhere else that you're going to see it. It's a little cue, little synchronistic reminder. Oh, I need to just momentary think, what is happening in my life today that reminds me of justice? Or who have I seen that reminds me of justice? Or how am I being like justice? What is it I need to do today to be like justice? I know today that I need to tell the botanist that I will be happy to help out occasionally, but that is all I can do So that is my decision and my truth for today. Is there one that you know you need to do to get your alignment back? All right, my lovelies, I think that's it. Thank you for being here. The first one is always the longest one. So well done for going the 50 minutes. And here's to a beautiful, graceful, incredible unveiling of your next layer of your own divine truth and beauty. So mote it be. Bye for now. Don't forget to share in the group tonight. It's important. You got it? Good stuff. Bye for now. See you tomorrow. Same time. Bye bye.